Hello kitchen table wizards, welcome back to Casual MTG Decks, where we explore the fun side of 60 card play. And it's all about making thematic, fun decks that play well against each other. I'm your host Nora, and today we're diving into the heartwarming world of Halflings and their culinary delights. Today, it's all about baking pies and smashing them into the face of your opponent. Before we dive into the deck, let's share a taste of our food theme.
Yes, Nora, Halflings, they love their food. They often also leave behind a trail of crumbs that makes food. And of course we have other things in the deck that make food, like a goose that is running away with a carrot. We also had a fat feasting hobbit that probably ate too much. We also have some hungry watchdogs on the lookout for more food. And of course we are Lord of the Rings themed, so that means we're gonna play with the ring mechanic whenever the ring tempts you. Like when Samwise the Stout-Hearted enters the battlefield, you'll choose a creature, that creature will become the ring bearer, and when it is tempted once, you'll get the first ability. When the ring is tempted again, you'll get the first and the second, and so on. You get my drift. When the ring is tempted 4 times, the ring bearer is an insanely powerful creature.
Thanks for that intro, Bram. Now let's meet our hungry halfling creatures and their friends.
Let's first focus, Nora, on the halflings that create food like this farmer. When it enters or leaves the battlefield, you will create a food token. And Meriadoc also creates a food when one or more halflings you control attack. Peregrine Took is just the card you want in this deck. For every food that is created, we create an additional food token. And this elf creates a food or treasure token whenever a land enters the battlefield. You know, halflings and tree folk get along great together, so that's why we play Treebeard Gracious Host. It likes food and makes halflings or tree folk stronger. We also play Sam, Loyal Attendant. At the beginning of combat we create a food and activating that food, so sacrificing it will cost 1 less. Next up we have Butterbur. At the beginning of your end step, if you don't control a food, we will create one. Nora, what do you think about our halflings so far?
Sorry, not in the mood to respond. I got way too hungry.
Okay, well, let's move on with the farmer Cotton, another great halfling. When it enters the battlefield, create X 1/1 white halfling creature tokens and X food. And the last of our food creating halflings is Rosie. Whenever she enters the battlefield, we create a food token. Whenever you create one, you put a +1/+1 counter on another creature. Then we have creatures that create and use food. Samwise creates a food whenever another creature enters, and you can sacrifice 3 foods to return target historic card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Between you and me, Samwise is a bit overrated, no?
Nora, can you blame him with all this food? We also play 2 copies of Gilded Goose in the deck. It creates food and you can sacrifice it to add a mana. And then we also play this farmer. When it enters, you create a food, and when a food enters, target creature gets +1/+1. Bill the Pony creates 2 food tokens, and whenever you sacrifice it, you can have target creature assign combat damage equal to its toughness.
Bram, how do these delightful characters work their magic together?
Well, most of them are just gonna use the food that they're getting, like these banquet guests, 2 mana, and it has affinity for food. It has trample. Whenever it enters, it also gets twice X +1/+1 counters on it, and you can sacrifice a food to give it indestructible. Nora, how do you like the deck so far?
Talking about food gets me hungry.
Okay, Nora, well, you're not the only one who is hungry. Let's look at this feasting hobbit. It can devour food 3. That means when you enter, you can sacrifice food, and for every food, it gets 3 +1/+1 counters, and creatures with power less than it can't block it. And these watchdogs can also eat food to get counters on it, and then they also gain vigilance until end of turn. Next up, it's a fit halfling, the nimble hobbit. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice a food and then you can tap another creature an opponent controls. Also play 2 copies of Shire Sheriff. It has vigilance, it's a 2/2, and you can sacrifice a food token whenever it enters the battlefield, and then you can exile target creature.
We also have a great eagle in the deck, right?
That's correct, Nora. We have the greatest eagle of all in our deck, a 5/5. Whenever it attacks, target creature gains flying until end of turn. And it can also create more eagles when you gain life while you're eating food, of course. Or we can just gain life with this prosperous innkeeper. Whenever it also enters, you create a treasure token. Next up, we play Samwise. When you flash it in, get something back from your graveyard that was put there, and also the ring will tempt you. The last halfling is really my favorite. It's called the Gaffer. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain 3 or more life, you draw a card.
Now back to our magical kitchen for some enchantments. Yummy.
Yummy indeed, Nora. Let's look at some enchantments. First up, Trail of Crumbs. It's great to create food and also take the right cards from the top of your library. We also play Flowering of the White Tree. It's just so on flavor, giving our halflings a boost. And talking about on flavor cards, this saga creates food, gets counters on creatures you control, draws cards, and creates a bunch of halflings.
Talking about food gets me hungry.
Okay. Last enchantment, Shortcut to Mushrooms. The ring will tempt you and you will put counters on your creatures when you sacrifice food.
Our adventure wouldn't be the same without some helpful artifacts for our hobbits, right?
That's correct, Nora. We also play 3 artifacts. The first one on flavor is Sting, a hasty sword that is great against orcs or goblins. Another sword we play is the Sword of Rohan. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you exile 1 target creature you own, and then you search your library for a basic and put them both into the battlefield. Oh yeah, your creature also has +2/+2 and protection from white and green. And if you're wondering, yes, we play the One Ring because this is all about the flavor with casual MTG decks, so a great card in our deck that is just super on flavor.
Next we have our spells, instants and sorceries that add spice to our deck.
Indeed, Nora, we play a little bit of removal. Hobbit's Sting is super on flavor. It deals damage equal to the number of creatures and food we control. And of course, we needed to play this Source to Plowshares just because of the halfling art, and it's obviously a great instant to remove creatures from your opponent. We also play 2 sorceries. First up, this mass removal spell, Battle of Bywater, great for your halflings. And then the next spell we're playing in our deck, the next sorcery, is this Revive the Shire. It returns target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand, and of course you create a food token.
Enough food for me today. Finally, let's talk about our lands. Let's make sure they are on theme.
Indeed, Nora, we always keep it flavorful, we also keep it budget, so we are going to play some nice basic lands. We're gonna play 8 plains in our deck, and we are going to play 6 forests in our deck, always both with the art of Lord of the Rings. We also play a pathway. You can play it for green or for white mana, you can choose. And also we're gonna play 3 copies of Canopy Vista, great with all your basic lands that we have in our deck. 3 copies for the Vista, 1 copy of the Temple of Plenty for a little bit of scry action in our deck. We also play the Shire as it's the most flavorful on-team land in our deck, and of course it creates food tokens. We also play another land, another forest that creates food, Gingerbread Cabin, and to finish it up we play 3 copies of this Shire Terrace.
And here you have it, our Halfling and food deck. It's flavorful and full of tasty snacks and synergies, and a lot stronger than you might think. I hope you've enjoyed this culinary journey through the heart of the Shire. If this deck has left you hungry for more creative fun, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment with themes you'd like to see. Until next time, keep it casual. Talking about food gets me hungry.